You thought healthcare and dental was a good perk for your job? How about pajamas all day long? Thinking about being a stand-up comic now because of this? Yeah, it's a good reason. I mean, you're getting a salary reduction, but you're getting 100% more pajamas all day long. So, haha. The first few times you do stand-up comedy, you're going to have things stacked against you because no club is going to book you. Well, you might get on amateur night, but most of the good places to get on amateur night, it takes a while for you to get on. Maybe it's worth it to wait and get on one of those nights. But most open mics that a first-timer is going to do, it's going to be a terrible situation, terrible venue. So an ideal venue, and I'll just describe this club that I work at called Absolute Comedy. And what makes it so good is because the person, the manager or the owner, he used to be a stand-up comic. So he knew the things that worked and helped a stand-up comic do well, and he just made sure that his club was exactly like that. So the first thing is sound. He puts mirrors along the side of the walls, and it really helps reflect all the laughs and your sound. Everything bounces, and you feel immersed in the laughter, and that really gets people laughing. Like hearing laughs begets more laughter. It's like laugh tracks back in the day. The psychology behind that was you're hearing people laugh, so it's a cue to laugh. You know, it's a punchline, and also you feel like everyone's enjoying themselves and having fun. Another thing that helps is that the venue is huge. Like it could seat over 200 something people, but let's say there's only 100 people at the venue that day. Well, now it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like half the space is empty, and it's going to sound empty. So he has curtains that can curtain off like half the seats. If it's only half full, all the curtains pull around, and now it feels like a tight, small, intimate room. And then the sound bounces off the curtains, off the mirrors. There's low ceilings. Again, everything is about containing that sound and immersing everyone inside the laughter. It's very dark. You want the audience to be dark and the stage to be lit, right? You don't want, when you're in the audience and it's dark, people feel no inhibitions. They'll laugh and they won't feel judged because no one can see them. They can laugh at the weirdest jokes. It doesn't matter. But you want the comic to be lit. You want to be able to see their act outs, their facial expressions, everything that they're doing very clearly. So the lights are super bright. The audience is super dark. Like most of the time when a comic's on stage, we can only see, if it's properly lit, we probably only see the front 2 rows in like a semicircle around us. We can't see much further behind. And the last thing they do is they seat the audience members. They don't let people sit wherever they want willy-nilly because everyone's going to sit super far behind. For some reason, they think that they're going to be made fun of. I don't know, I think that's like remnants from the 80s and the 90s where the comics are super aggressive and confrontational and they'll make fun of all the audience members. It's usually not like that. And if comics address you, it's usually very friendly. So when you do your first mic, you're going to be freaked out the days and the weeks leading up to it. I know, like I was dreaming of it. I couldn't sleep. The 3 days before my first performance, I didn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep. Walking to the place, I was just rehearsing like a madman. My heart's beating, just visualizing the worst, obviously, how poorly this performance would go. I get to the venue and it's packed. There's like 1 million UFT college students in the bar. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so lucky. You know, my first stand-up comedy experience, and the place is full. Everyone's going to be watching. It's going to be great. They look like they're going to want to have a good time because there was like a buzz there. It was so full that I had to push my way to find the host. I get to her and she's like, oh, well, it's canceled. I forgot it was Frosh Week. Spent a whole month worried about this. Get there, find out it's canceled now. Get rebooked, have to wait a whole another month. freaking out, worried, stressed. It was terrible, but looking back now, and I know, knowing more about stand-up comedy, that would have been, she did me a favor. That host helped me out, because if we had that comedy show in front of those Frosh students, none of them would have cared. They were all there to get drunk and hang out with their new friends and try to impress people and pick up. No one would have wanted to listen to my stand-up comedy, my stupid jokes. They would have heckled for sure. Drunk heckled me off the stage. I would have cried and probably never done stand-up again. So a month later, again, scared, about to do stand-up comedy, nervous, get on stage. And remember all those good things that I described about the venue for the ideal stand-up comedy experience? Well, this place was the opposite. It was bright. Everyone could see everyone. It's huge, high ceilings, wide, distractions everywhere. There's a pool table a couple rows down from me, and people were actually playing pool. There was TVs. There was like 3 TVs on to my left, pool table to my right. TVs were playing sports. People were watching sports. They came to the bar to watch sports. Not me. No one there. We call this an ambush comedy show. People are there either to eat or to watch something on TV, and then all of a sudden someone grabs a mic and is like, in 10 minutes, we're going to do a stand-up comedy show. They don't say boo, but that's how they feel inside, and that's what you're going up to. A couple people were seated around, and despite this very terrible situation, I think I lucked out because that week there were a few people that were pleasantly surprised that there was a comedy show, and they listened. And I didn't do terrible. I think I got a couple of laughs. I got laughs, and I knew that I needed to get laughs to want to continue, but I don't think that should be your goal the first time you do stand-up comedy. I think your goal for the first time is just to do it. If you can do it, if you can do stand-up comedy, go on stage, follow through with it, and not like run away, then I think that's what you should aim for. Laughs is extra. Like, laughs is a bonus. If you got people to laugh at your jokes, amazing. The second time I did stand-up comedy, it's what we call a bringer show. Bringer shows are sometimes frowned upon in the stand-up community. Actually, it's pretty frowned upon, at least in Toronto, because a lot of comics feel like it's the producer's job to fill a room, whereas, you know, as comics, we're bringing the material. They should be packing the house. It's not our job. But I think when you're first starting out, bringer shows are not bad. Like, you're not going to get booked on good shows. No one wants to book someone terrible. The only thing that you're offering, I always feel like comics have to offer something. If you're not offering good material, then you're offering people to come watch the show, right? And as a new comic, you're not going to be good. So I brought like 3-4 people. I think the rule was you had to bring at least 2. And this venue was a lot better. It was dark. There was a spotlight. Friends and family in the audience, they were a lot friendlier. They came because they knew it was stand-up comedy, and I did a lot better. And then after I did these 2 shows, I felt I was ready, prepared enough to do my grad show at my Second City stand-up class. So those were my experiences, my first 3 experiences doing stand-up comedy. If you've done stand-up comedy, write in the comment section how it went for you. Thanks so much, and see you in a week.